I'm not drinking an energy drink this week because I'm still finishing off my morning coffee.
Me too.
Yay! Cheers.
I don't know what was going on. I kept trying to accept the invite and everything, and it just wasn't. I don't know. It kept asking me to share it and stuff. I don't know what was going on.
That's weird.
It was weird. Yeah, I'd never
Yeah,
had
I
that
tried.
before.
Yeah, I tried scheduling it ahead this time. I noticed for the first time ever when I went to start a live this morning, or I went to start the process of beginning the live. It says schedule ahead in a little spot there. So I was like, oh, sweet. So now I guess you can do it with something besides an iPhone.
Oh yeah. Well, you can do it from your I mean, I've done it from my computer before. On the laptop, you can do a stream key, which you normally do with like Restream or another platform like that. But you can use it also to schedule a live and just tell people ahead of time. Even though, like when you click on it, there's like that timer, the countdown timer, but it doesn't do anything except tell you like how long it is until the live starts. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
Yeah, I never tried that before. I'm glad they simplified it for an idiot like me because that made it really a lot easier just to schedule ahead. Now I can go
yeah.
through and schedule all the ones that I have scheduled on my calendar ahead, and so it'll should show up and stuff more and be more available for everybody to witness and see. We've got Christy Keller just joined, Bray B Rain just
Hey,
joined.
Christy.
Welcome everybody. And no,
Yeah,
Murphy, I don't have a fucking ponytail. Look, okay, once and for all, we're gonna fucking solve this. I don't have a ponytail. See? That little thing that you saw was called a knot, not a
but you
ponytail.
could have a ponytail if you wanted it, right?
Well, I could if I wanted it,
Okay. All
but
right. All
I
right. Yeah.
don't actually have one.
All right.
Just wanted to make it clear. Also, I wanted
Yeah.
to make it clear that I don't wear hats because I'm going bald or I'm bald. I wear hats because I like them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I've had a couple other people be like, "Oh, he's probably going bald." Nope.
I don't wear hats very often. Every once in a while, I guess I will, but I don't know.
I
I'm
like
not a
them.
hat person.
I very much enjoy my hats. My screen's all lopsided. There we go. Oh shit, that changed like the whole angle and everything. Whoa. Let's adjust here a little. Technical difficulties. We will be right back with you in a moment.
Yeah, I tried to join on my computer, on my laptop, and on my phone, and neither one was letting me get in. So I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah, I had that problem with Lawrence and Dana one time. They invited me on and it was not letting me join for a while, so I ended up being late. I don't know what was going on that time either.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I was on time, but I just couldn't join.
Oh man, Substack has glitches and weird things that go on with it? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gotta be our fault somehow, right?
Yeah. I didn't know
So
you could schedule from your phone now, though,
oh
from
yeah,
the
well it
Android.
said it used to be is it Android? Because I don't use Android. I use my computer
Oh,
now. I
okay.
use a webcam. Yeah, I don't know if you can schedule from Android as of now,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, I've
I
been
haven't
using a
tried it.
webcam for the last few. That way it's more stable-ish.
Whenever I scheduled all mine in December when I was going live every day. I scheduled them ahead of time, but I did it through my laptop because as far as I knew, you couldn't do it through a phone, but you can on the laptop. You can go down and create a live and schedule it ahead of time.
See, this is why I need to reach out to you more and ask for, opinions and advice. You coulda told me about scheduling a long time ago.
Well, I don't know everything, but I figured that one out at least before December. So
Sweet. So you, for anybody who wasn't here last week, I had a guest scheduled, and they just couldn't show up. They got busy, and they ended up sending me an apology later, and I still haven't rescheduled them yet, but I will. But Brandon saved me by coming in and being my guest last week, and now he is scheduled for about a month now for this week. So you get Brandon 2 weeks in a row, which is awesome because we love Brandon here on KR Substack. So, welcome everybody who's here already. I'm sure we'll have a few more trickling in as the clock ticks down. But
It was
yeah,
it was kind of funny because the like 2 days after I was on with you, um, Margaret Margaret Williams was on a live, and her guest was having technical issues, and she couldn't come on. And she invited Will Fullwood, and then she invited me on too, just as an impromptu guest. So for twice last week, I was an unscheduled impromptu guest.
well, that's because you're Mr. Reliable.
Well, I try to be.
That's not a bad reputation to have by any means.
Yeah.
So, this week the topic is going to be mainly we're going to talk shit about Murphy. Uh,
Oh yeah.
so the thing is I want to make it clear to everybody who is out there. Murphy is just God, he's the worst. He doesn't ever tell the truth. He likes to claim that he's drinking beer and getting drunk or pissed, as he likes to say, but he doesn't actually drink alcohol at all. Every time if you see him on live and he's drinking out of this, it's the same green glass fucking bottle every single time because he just goes and fills it up with water. And so it's a little bit ridiculous. I've gotten to know him pretty well the last few months. He's constantly messaging me, asking for advice, and I'm also the editor of his writing, so anything he
Oh,
writes,
I didn't
know
know
that
that.
I'm the one that edited it. It's not true, Brandon. I'm making it all up.
Well, I'm not sure I can participate in this kind of conversation, especially when he just said Brandon is great. Reminds me of summer honey in spring. Like, I mean, how can I how can I diss on him after that?
Yeah, but that's all those UK fuckers have is freaking compliments, I mean, and they're who knows if he even means it. I mean, the dude's a
Well,
serial liar,
that is true. Yes.
For anybody that is just has never tuned in and heard this stuff before, we're just joking. I love Murphy. I think he's fucking hilarious. Uh Ireland is part of the UK, is it not? Isn't it?
I thought so. Am I stupid?
Holy shit, it's not.
Well,
God damn
what's
it.
okay? So Wales is, and is Scotland?
I now I don't
No. Oh,
I thought it was
uh,
Ireland, Scotland, and England were like the main parts of the UK.
well, Wales is in there, and that's part of the UK. But
Yeah, Scotland is.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Wales is part of the UK as well. So yeah, that's hilarious. I really always fucking thought Ireland was part of the UK. But didn't they have a guy? Isn't that what the whole like Irish rebellion like was about? All the bombings and stuff like in the late what was that the 80s? Is because they were tired of English occupation.
Oh, Northern Ireland is what? Well,
Northern Ireland.
what's the
Oh,
difference? What? Why are you separating Ireland out? And part of it's in the UK, and part of it is that I don't know about that. That's just
it did say that the Ireland Islands were not part of the UK. So I guess like he said, like the northern
mhm.
part of the main landmass is part of the UK. Fucking
Okay.
weird, dude.
Okay.
They
Well,
were part of the UK at one point in time. I'm positive of it.
probably so.
Texas is part of the UK. That's for sure.
Texas. I only know the East Coast and Texas in the U.S. where they are, where they're mean. I thought Ireland was UK too. Okay, we're not the only ones. Joe says I thought Ireland was UK too. They don't teach
Yeah.
geography in California.
Yeah. To be fair, they taught geography where I grew up, but I just didn't really pay attention to school much when I was younger, like I should have. So stay in
Well,
school, kids.
yeah, history was like down on the list for me. I liked English, language arts, band, music, you know, art, but history was my well, I can't say. Yeah, I think history was my least favorite subject. Between that and math, I'm not great at math, but I could do it. I understood it, but history was just I don't know. I was just very bored with history, and part of it was the teacher. You
Yeah.
know, some teachers just shouldn't be teachers. There, I had one that she just well, she was actually a the foreign language teacher, German. She taught German, and I don't know at the time the school I don't know their budget cuts or whatever, and they had her teaching history one year, and
Mm,
she even said when she came in, she was like, "I'm not a history teacher," you know,
yeah.
and but she taught it anyway, and it was boring.
Yeah, my Kimberly, she had a history teacher that would come dressed as like the people that he was teaching you about. You know, he'd come
Oh
dressed as
yeah.
like a pilgrim or dressed as like a knight or dressed as whatever and stuff. So I guess he made history a lot more fun and entertaining.
Yeah, well, that
So
sounds like it would be entertaining. Yeah.
yeah, that would be a lot more fun than so where I grew up, we had 3 teachers in the entire school for a majority of my elementary school education. Where I grew up only went to the 8th grade, and then you would have to move in with somebody in the next town over, which was about an hour and a half away, the nearest town was. And then you would have to live with a family or whatever or a
Oh,
relative
really?
to go to school, to go to middle school and then high school, um,
Oh, wow.
or just high school, I guess, because I guess it was elementary and then middle school, technically. Yeah, because it would have been just 8th grade. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Well,
it
that's
was
interesting.
yeah, very small town, but 3 teachers for K through no, 4 teachers. It was 1 teacher for kindergarten and then 3 teachers for 1st through 8th. So my class it was 6th, 7th, and 8th graders the last years that I was there. And it was the same teacher, Mr. Nelson, for years.
Hmm.
And
That's pretty cool.
Mr. Nelson was good, but he wasn't I don't know, he wasn't very entertaining with most subjects. Most of the time it was put on Beethoven in the background and read your book. So I remember staring out the window of
Yeah.
the school a lot like this.
Well, at least he exposed you to some classical music.
Oh yeah, now I love classical music. Now I use it to
Oh,
write,
do
but I
you?
don't listen to just Beethoven. I listen to right now I'm really big into Disney instrumentals and then also what's called Shire music, which is music from like the Lord of the Rings and stuff, all the classical
Oh,
music
yes.
from those movies.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
like that music. I like the music in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good music. And then uh Disney instrumental covers are really great because they produce a little bit of nostalgia while also, still being classical type music so that you can focus and it helps for me.
So you still like classical music, some of it?
Yeah, I didn't really like it back then, but as I got older, when I first started, so I went to college for a few years, and when I first started there, I didn't know how to learn because I'd never really taken the time to learn how to learn, and so I started. I actually took a college class about learning how to learn. It was an uncredited class or whatever, but it actually did teach me, things and tactics and strategies that you
I took one of
use
those
to be
too.
able to learn. Yeah. And so
Yeah,
that was
it's
one of
like,
the things in the book was classical music.
oh, okay. I think the class I took was like, I can't remember the name of it. Study skills or something like that, where they taught you how to take notes and things like that in a more efficient way, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it was, I think it was like, secondary education study skills 101 or something like that, or 95, or I don't remember for sure, but it was definitely something like that. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting class. Honestly, I started learning how to learn from that class, and then I just carried it on. And now I can pretty much, I haven't had any problems eventually learning everything. Um, I even had to learn how to, and I'm not going to tell anyone what this is, but if anybody in the audience can figure out what this is, I would be incredibly shocked and impressed. But I had to learn how to do that, and that took some very serious math and all day. That took me all day to do that list.
Well, if it takes math, I'm not. I have no idea. No, forget it.
Yeah, I was horrible at math. I thought I was, like, honestly, like, mentally, like, handicapped with math alone, for, like, most of my life. But then when I got into college math, I I I guess I just never really tried because I ended up picking it up to the point where, like, for fun, yeah, yeah, Kimberly, you can't answer because you sat there while I was doing it all day next to me and stuff, playing games, so you already know what it is. Um, uh but the professor and I would race each day. I would do a problem in my head and he would do it on the whiteboard, and we'd see who could get done first and if our answer was correct. And like 9 out of 10 days I won. And so,
Oh wow.
yeah, so I got pretty good at it. That was the first time in my life I actually had confidence in my own intellect at all, and so then that actually helped me spread to I ended up getting a 4 point, like, I flunked out of regular school. Like, seriously, like, fucking straight Fs through most of public school. And then I get into college and I ended up with like a 4.0 GPA. So it became very clear that it was never necessarily me, it was where I was, and the fact that most of the time when I would ask questions, they were met with, I don't know, look it up in the book, or just do the work you're assigned. I couldn't ever ask ahead of what we were doing by all means. And then, dude, I remember I was in like the fourth grade and I got into a fucking argument with my fourth grade teacher, who she was saying that you can't reach your eardrum from outside of your ear. And I was like, "Yes, you can. You absolutely can freaking reach your eardrum from outside your ear. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "No, you can't. You can see in the book." And you look in the book and like there's all like these spirals. I'm like, "That's behind the eardrum." And everyone in the class was like, "Kenyon, quit arguing with the teacher. She knows better than you." I'm like, "She doesn't. She's fucking wrong." I remember being in the fourth grade being like, "You guys are fucking wrong." So it's like, no wonder I didn't have like any passion for school. Honestly, like they were fucking dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Marnie says the same thing. I hated my high school, but I loved college. That's kind of how I
Yeah.
was in
Mhm.
school. Well, part of the reason was I didn't have very many friends. I was kind of a loner. I didn't like the same things that the other boys liked, and you weren't supposed to be friends with girls. Guys weren't supposed to be friends with girls unless you were
Yep.
boyfriend and girlfriend, really.
Right.
And that's just kind of how it was. M- and my friends were usually girls, and it was just, I don't know, I didn't get along with people, and there was some bullying and stuff, and that contributed to it. But also I was bored a lot in classes, and
Yeah.
especially like history and math. But the creative stuff I liked. I was in English language arts. We did poetry and creative writing and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed doing that kind of thing. And I liked band. I liked music. I liked art. I'm not a great artist. I can draw, but I'm not like proficient. I mean, I guess I'm proficient. I'm not an expert artist.
Right. No, I understand that. I can draw a little bit, not like I'm not an artist by any means. I would never call myself an artist, uh, or anything like that, but, I can draw a little. My ninth grade art teacher almost gave me, well, see, this is, the mind flare from, Stranger Things.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
drew,
yeah.
I drew that.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, but my ninth grade art teacher almost made me give up on art entirely because, like, she was one of those people that's like, there's only one way you will ever get good at art, and it's if you follow this order and you do it the way that I am telling you to fucking do it, and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I got to the point where I was like, dude, fuck art, man. Like, this shit's stupid. This is absolutely the worst subject I think I've ever taken. I drew these mushies.
Oh yeah, those are good. I like the shading and everything. That's good.
Yeah, so I mean, this was a weird like charcoal thing I tried to do, and it's not good.
No, it's cool though. Kind of
So
what's that called? Surrealism kind of, or not abstract. I guess it's more surrealism, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't have any idea. I don't know. I don't know. That's once again, I would know this if I had paid attention in that art class, but her strict fucking like you couldn't there was no like freestyle art assignments ever in that
Oh yeah,
class. Like there was no just like draw what's in your heart, which is what that thing I just showed you was one day I was just kind of like feeling dark and depressed and just started sketching with these oil fucking pencils I have and ended up with, a half-assed, skull and stuff, and so um
yeah,
I don't know, like, it's just bad teachers can ruin school worse
yeah,
than any subject matter ever could. And
yeah,
I'm convinced of that. It's I know now that I'm older that I am incredibly intelligent. And so growing up, my getting bad grades was a reflection on me and my home life, but it was also a reflection on the teachers and not allowing me to really truly challenge myself. I mean, I was always I once I learned how to read, I was literally reading at like a college level, like by like third grade. And so I mean, I read through our entire fucking library in my hometown to the point where I had to start sneaking into like the adult section and stealing Stephen King books, because I couldn't check them out, so I had to steal them and stuff. And so like I know I was intelligent. It's just I wasn't being challenged, and that's a real problem. Is when you create a curriculum or you create a societal norm based off these strict rules of policy where everyone has to do it the exact same and everyone has to, and it's not you're not going to challenge everybody. You're going to leave people behind who would have done better if they were allowed to get ahead.
yeah. That's kind of how a lot of school was growing up, though. That everybody had to learn the same way. Everybody had to sit in their desk for 8 hours a day and do it. Everybody do it the same way with the standardized tests. Some people aren't good at those types of tests, even though they could show their learning in other ways that show that they learned the material, not
Yeah.
necessarily in that type of test. But yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like your art teacher was like one of those stay inside the lines kind of people,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, most of the teachers where I grew up and stuff were, and it's because I mean they weren't I there's definitely something to be said about having some level of competitiveness in education, because without teachers having to compete with each other or anything like that, you end up with just these absolute waste of space people who shouldn't be teaching, because they're just going to ruin more minds than they're going to help. I guess it's the difference with any profession out there is, does this person actually love what they do and are they passionate about it, or do they just fucking do it because they thought it would be easy and it's a paycheck? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's gonna be the difference between a good teacher, and where I grew up, there was no teachers there that were there because they were passionate about it. It was a fucking paycheck and that's it, you know? And yes, Brandy, that is the Harry Potter collection behind me. I've got the Harry Potter collection, and then I've got the entire Hunger Game collection, and then
Oh, I
I've
love
got
those.
Stephen King's It, Twilight, Peter Pan, Aragon, Lord of the Rings, and that's about it for here, but I've got a lot more books upstairs.
I love the Hunger Games. Those were such good books.
Oh, amazing. All of them. All what is it now? 5 of them are great books.
I haven't. I so so there are two more that are they like the prequels?
Yes, there's 2
I
prequels,
haven't.
and she went back to the furthest, with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and then
Okay,
she, went forward in between the Ballad of Songbirds and Snake and the Hunger Games with the next one in the series, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I don't actually own the hardback version of that one. Uh,
I haven't read those
I'll
yet, but I'm sure I would like it because I read the original the trilogy and they
Sunrise
were
on the
really good.
Reaping.
Oh yeah,
And it's about, her mentor, Katniss's mentor in the Hunger Games? It's his Hunger Games.
Hamish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, Abernathy. Yep, it's his game. It's his Hunger Games. So it's really interesting to see because if you remember, it mentions in the book, the Hunger Games that he won more off of like cleverness than being like the biggest toughest boy. So you get
right.
to see how he won exactly and the implications of that. And in that, I won't spoil anything. There's a lot of it's both of the prequels fill in a lot of little gaps that the Hunger Game leaves in question.
Yeah,
So
I like when they do
I
that.
highly recommend them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to seek those out eventually.
Yeah, do it for sure. I if you have to get the paperback or you go to your library and check them out, I very much recommend both of them. The first one, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is about Snow, President Snow.
Oh yeah, I saw the previews for the movie.
Yeah,
Or have they done more than? Was it just one
yeah, it was just one
Ballad of
movie.
Song? Okay, the prequel.
Sun-
I haven't seen that.
Sunrise on the Reaping is being turned into a movie as well already.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so eventually you'll just be able to watch all of them. And the movie, the Hunger Game movies, to me were better than a Songbird. Compared to the book, the Hunger movies were better than A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but it was still a decent movie. I would recommend watching.
Yeah, I thought it was one that a lot of movies that are made from books don't really follow the books all that well, or they
Yeah,
leave a lot out, and you have to sometimes because the movies would be hours and hours long. But I thought the Hunger Games movies though were a good example of following the book pretty well.
yeah, yeah. I agree. They did an excellent job. They do a good job at following the book in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes as well. It's got Peter Dinklage in it, so I always will recommend anything with him in it. Fucking love
Yeah,
that man.
yeah.
A good example of a book that did it wrong is the Aragon series. Have you ever read that?
No, I know that was really popular for a while, and I haven't read them though.
Yeah, it's more strict fantasy. So it's kind of like a Lord of the Rings kind of sort of thing, but with dragons. So the books are absolutely fucking amazing. One of the things that makes the books truly spectacular is that the author was like 15 when he wrote and published the first one. And so, hearing the perspective of the world through a 15-year-old, especially, this individual has to be incredibly intelligent. I don't really know much about him, but in order to come up with this world and create all of it, he had to have been exceptionally intelligent. Um, it was fascinating, it was so, but the movie rendition was unwatchable.
Oh yeah, that's too
But they
bad.
only did the one because it was so bad they couldn't make any more of the series because the first movie was fucking awful.
Yeah,
Like, in
yeah.
order to
I've
age the dragon, they do this thing where, like, the dragon flies through the sky at one point as, like, a baby, and then, like, it, like, spins and gets hit by lightning a bunch of times, and then it grows into a full-blown dragon. That never fucking happened in the book. Nothing like that happened. They just, like, sped up the aging of the dragon for some dumb reason. It makes no sense.
yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was oh, dude, it was bad. When I say bad, I mean fucking bad.
Yeah, I can't think of. I know I've seen some that are just horrible compared to the book, but right now I can't think of. the last one that I saw that was like that. The sad thing is I hardly read books anymore because I'm reading so many articles and stuff on Substack. I spend all my time reading and writing on Substack or Medium. Not so much Medium anymore, but mostly Substack. But yeah, I need to. I started a book a few weeks ago. I read like the first chapter, and then I haven't picked it up again.
Yeah, I listen to a lot more books than I read these days. I end up reading a lot of, like, news and stuff like that, which is unfortunate, but,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
read as but I listen to a lot of books. Like I said, I told you last time, I'm currently listening to the, full cast audio Harry Potter books, which are spectacular.
Oh,
They're
right.
amazing. Um, I strongly, highly recommend those to anyone that is interested in the Potterverse at all. Um, but, there's a book that is, a movie that actually is better than the book are the, Wicked movies.
Oh, yes. I love Wicked.
It's amazing movies. The movies amazing. Love Ari, love the whole cast. But the books, fucking god, dude, just talk about like never-ending conversations and like these like it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
these repetitive conversations where it's like, didn't you guys just talk about this? But they're having the conversation with someone else, so now they've
Oh,
got to
yeah.
like go over all the details again with another person. It's
Mm.
very uneventful and slow, very, very slow. I did not enjoy them as much as I had hoped I would. But the movies are absolutely amazing.
I haven't read the books, but I watched both of the movies in the theater. Actually, I thought the first one was better than the second part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked the songs and the story. I don't know. It just the first one really moved me. I thought it was so good, and I heard from multiple people that they went back and watched it a second and third time.
Mhm.
But the second part was good too. It was just I just didn't I don't know. I didn't have the same emotional reaction that I did watching after watching the first one.
Yeah, that's that's pretty common though. I mean, like very few unless like I've noticed if it's pre-written like books to movies, then sometimes you'll get like a second book or a second movie, I mean, that is better than the first movie, but oftentimes like sequels they lose something somehow. I don't know how, I don't even know what necessarily, but there's just something about the storytelling or the method of delivery that just it gets lost in uh, continued stories and stuff. So
I wonder if it has to do with like I'm thinking of like the Lord of the Rings also. You in the first movie you meet all the characters, you get introduced to all these people and it's kind of wow, you're just seeing these worlds for the first time, the Hobbit town and things like that. And it's just kind of like a new experience. And by the second one it's like yeah, okay, these are the same characters. I've met these people already, but it's a good story, but
yeah,
that's not you don't have the newness or the wow factor that you did when you first started watching it. I
yeah,
think that's probably kind of the same with Wicked. You're like introduced to this big world, these big colorful scenes and everything, and introduced to the characters and all that. And then the second part, yeah, you already know the characters, you've seen the
yeah,
world, but it's just more of the same. So it's I
right,
guess it doesn't have that wow factor.
yeah. That's the so with the Lord of the Rings example, the Twin Towers is a very slow book. So it's miraculous that they made the movie even remotely entertaining. It is one
Yeah.
of those books where it's kind of like Genesis in the Bible, if you've ever read the Bible. It's like there's a part in there where it's like, and I'm gonna butcher the names and I'm not even gonna try to remember the exact names, but it's like, and then Mary begot Joseph and Joseph
Yeah, I was
begot
just thinking.
Jilly and
Yes,
Jilly
I knew
Bean
you were going to say that.
begot, and it's like 30 fucking pages of that. And that's actually
Yes,
like
yes.
the Twin Towers books.
Yeah, when you said Genesis and that, I was like, I know exactly where you were going with that. So and so beget so and so beget so and so, and just so
Yeah.
like, all right, we get it, we get it. They had babies,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Some of the stories in the Bible are pretty entertaining, but, some of it is just a lot of, like, long worded drivel, and you're like, "God damn it." Ugh.
That's one thing I don't like about. I don't know if you've read any of Anne Rice's books, but like Interview with the Vampire and The Vampire Lestat and any of those. I don't really like her books because she tends to drone on a lot of details in the scenes and stuff like that. Some people like that, and that's fine, but I'm like, all right, I get it. It was dark and creepy. Wait, let's move on to the next scene. Okay, all right.
That's funny. Have you, read, what is it? I wanna say, Susie Stackhouse and Sookie Stackhouse novels?
Oh no, I've seen part of. I haven't gone through the whole series, but that True Blood, I've seen like the first, I don't know, a few seasons or something like that, but I haven't seen it all the way through.
Yeah, yeah, the novels are the Sookie, I believe they're called referred to as the Sookie Stackhouse novels, but yeah, True Blood is what they call the show and stuff.
Yeah.
Those books and the show, stay fairly good relevant to each other. The only thing is they kind of cut budget on a lot of, like, the graphic details in the show. So you end up
Oh.
losing, like, some of, like, the descriptions of the effects of, like, the changing, and then, obviously, you can't be as, pornographic on television as you can in writing, and
Oh, so
so
it's even more in the book?
oh, yeah, it goes into, like, details in that stuff.
I mean,
It
it's pretty. There's a lot of like
yeah.
nudity and sex and stuff in the show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's she I mean, yeah, she describes, like, all the feelings of everything happening and stuff, and so
Oh,
it's pretty intimate. It's not one to it's not one to read around family members.
that's interesting. Yeah. Well, one of the appeals of the show is, well, there are a lot of good looking um, people in that one, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They're all supposed to be pretty gorgeous, because, like, she's part fairy and shit, and, yeah, it goes all into that, but,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
that's interesting.
I believe that's what it ends up being. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read them or watched the shows, quite honestly.
Mm. Well, speaking of shows, I just watched one a couple nights ago. Have you ever heard of? I think it was called John and the Hole.
Drawn in the hole, like a whole pizza, or hole as in
And
hole in the ground?
Hole in the Ground. Yeah. So it's really weird and just, I don't know. There's this kid who traps his family in a hole, and he's like 13 years old or something like that. And they're trapped in the hole for like a week or something like that. And he lives in the house by himself and just decides to be an adult by himself. And he goes and, puts food down there or whatever for them. But it's, I guess it's
Does he try
supposed
to
to
get
be
them
like,
help, or is he like, "No, I'm gonna leave them there so I can be alone for a while?"
no, he put them there.
Oh, he put them in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. He trapped them in there and
Oh,
just,
shit.
it's a little demented, but it's supposed to
Sounds like
be
it.
like a metaphor for adolescence and feeling the void when you start becoming an adult. And I, it was, it, I, you'll have to watch it. It's just, it's kind of worth watching just for the weirdness effect. But Michael C. Hall is in it, who was played Dexter, and he was in 6 Feet Under.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see, yeah. I'm looking at it
So
right here, I'm adding it to my list.
yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. It sounds like a darker, Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Because I think it's
No?
on like, I think it's on a platform that I don't have access to. I don't
Uh,
remember what it was on, but
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Oh, well, I could see that, I guess.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll have
I
to
do.
look that.
So it is one of those. It's a goofy. So anything Tina Fey ends up being like goofy, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
very over the top, just silly. Which I love. It's shows like that are good for a mental break because you don't really have to
yeah,
like think about it too overly much. There's a story there with the whole Kimmy Schmidt, but mostly it's just about the one liners. And there's a character in it, Titus Andromedon. And I love him. You've seen Schitt's Creek, right? I think you said.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So Daniel Levy, who plays David
yeah,
on the show. I want
yeah,
the actor that plays Titus Andromedon, and I want Daniel Levy to do something together because I think like their back and forths would just be historic.
yeah.
They're very similar in a lot of ways, but then like also Titus is better at being like more like over the top dramatic, which is hard to believe probably, but it's true. Um so but yeah, I strongly recommend it. Um it's a very good show. It's got a lot of those like heartwarming little tiny moments, but mostly it's just silly, goofy brain break stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I really like Schitt's Creek. Everybody in that I think is just great. That just each role that they play is just perfectly done. I was so sad to hear about Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, rest in peace. That's sad.
Yeah,
That
she
is it.
oh I loved her character in that show.
Yeah,
She was
Moira.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yes.
Moira was hilarious. I think it's that show made me think that when I first saw that Catherine O'Hara had passed away, I thought it was fake because in the show there's the scene
Oh,
where they people online are trying to lie and say that she died
yes. Yeah,
and
I
she's
remember
dealing
that.
with
Yeah.
that, and so I thought it was like some resurgence of that or something came up, but no. Then
Yeah.
I went and double checked and triple checked, and I was like, "Damn it, that sucks." She wasn't
That
very
would be
old either.
interesting. No, she was like 71 or something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, that would be interesting for that to happen in real life. I don't know of any instances of that where they like somebody has actually faked their death just for comedy's sake.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, yeah, I don't think anybody has, but for a while there, it seemed like there was, the fake celebrity deaths, like, every couple of days, there'd be a new one where, you'd be like, "Eminem died in horrible car crash," and then it's like and all these people who didn't die, all of a sudden there's be, like, news and stuff popping up in your fucking feed somehow, and it was just
Well, that's
completely fake bullshit.
yeah, that's what's happening with movies too. There are a lot of AI trailers and movie posters where they're like showing so and so is starring in this movie, and I was like, and you look into it, it's like, no, they're not.
Yeah, no, yeah, never happened, not gonna happen. It happens a lot with, cartoon adaptations to live
Oh yeah,
action, I've
yeah.
noticed, so a lot of, like, anime getting turned into real movies, and instead of, how most anime is being turned into live action, it's, a lot of actors you probably hadn't heard of before, um, they use, people who are big names that you've definitely heard of as starring in these, adaptations, and it's just it's so frustrating because some of those trailers look really fucking good.
Yeah, you kind of wish, oh, I wish this was a movie. This would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, I saw one
That's funny.
yesterday. Somebody, or I think it might have been on a Google advertisement or something like that of Johnny Depp playing Ebenezer Scrooge, and I guess it's real. I haven't looked into that one, but it sounds like something that could be made up. You know?
That does sound made up. That really like, that is one of those things where, it does sound really made up, actually. I'm looking it up right now. Johnny Depp Christmas Carol. There's like 80 of those movies at this point, though.
Oh no,
Oh,
there are
yeah,
more than
it's
that.
real.
Even yeah, yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
figured it would be because it was from Google, and you would think. Although I've gotten some stuff from Google that because they've uh, um, there's been like a Google News thing that says we're getting these stimulus checks or something like that, which isn't
Yeah.
true. And but yeah, I figured that one probably was. It showed him in makeup and everything, and it said he looks almost unrecognizable as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, that one I think started with Elon Musk and Trump both said that there would be some sort of
Well,
compensation stimulus package for the tariffs, and then
yeah,
also because of the money that Elon was certain he would save us with Doge. Um, did you hear actually, I know I don't discuss news a lot, but this was awesome to me. So Elon broke my fucking heart. Let's start out there, okay? I loved Elon for years. I wanted Elon to be a good guy. I wanted him to be as
yeah,
cool as he pretended to be. I wanted to believe it. You know, I really wanted to believe it. So I even defended him against people like Ben, who you know Ben, Ben and
yeah, yeah,
Walter. I defended him to Ben and Walter. I'm pretty sure I made enemies with fucking Walter as a result of defending Elon at one point. I'm sure Walter still doesn't like me. But so but then like it turns out he's a piece of shit. So
yeah.
I have to eat crow and admit that I was fucking wrong about him. So, but I think it was, what was it? France just issued an arrest warrant for him.
Oh, for Elon?
Yeah, I think I believe it was France. So it was in collusion with the European police force warrant for Elon. Let's see. Yeah, French. Yeah, so it was issued by French for distribution and creation of child pornography and election interference. Because people have been using Grok because it basically Grok had no filters, and I know that
Oh,
for because I've used it to create images of Donald Trump just doing the most horrific shit. I've
yeah,
created so much Donald Trump proper propaganda using Grok, so anti-Trump propaganda. So and so people were using that to create some absolutely actually evil stuff.
yeah.
And Elon was issued warnings by several governments and he didn't comply. Oh, and also hosting um uh uh oh god damn, why did I just forget that word? Oh, Holocaust denial stuff on his platform.
Oh, yeah,
So there's a shit ton of Holocaust denial stuff on X. I mean, X is mostly when I have gone on there. Like, I don't even go on there anymore unless I see something pop up from an Idaho content creator on my feed or whatever. But it has just turned into like Nazi HQ, dude. Like, absolutely just atrocious amounts of Nazi propaganda on there, which is part of the way that I know that, you know, Walter and Ben were correct about Elon Musk and he is just a piece of shit. Because
yeah,
you don't allow Nazi propaganda to get like boosted in your algorithm unless you're a little bit of a piece of shit at least. And he's been doing it long enough that that means he's probably a lot of bit of a piece of shit. So
yeah. I have an X account, but I don't do anything with it really. I've every once in a while I'll post like a link to my stories and stuff like that, but it doesn't get
Mhm.
any traction at all. And I don't have any follow. I have like I don't know 2 or 3 followers or something like that. It's just like I guess it's because I just don't interact with it very much, and maybe that's why. But yeah, it's I've gotten like um a f- like fake accounts like this lady who claimed to be Morgan Wallen's mother and she could connect me with him and stuff like that, and I'm like nah, no.
Nah, nah, nah. Come back when you say
I
you're
was
Rich
just
Holmes' mom.
yeah, it's just kind of weird
Yeah.
stuff going on. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah, I
pretty
don't go on there
awful. I
very
mean, it's weird. You have these people that like it's so like I did get up to like 900 followers on there or whatever. Just through shit talking alone. Just
oh yeah,
posting
yeah,
shit
yeah,
talk comments and stuff. But like most of my like stuff I would post on my page didn't get nothing. But
yeah,
my
that's what
shit talk
mine's doing.
comments would get a lot of traffic sometimes. You know, I've gotten tens of thousands of likes on some of the, you know, trash I've talked on there about certain people, but it was there's fucking people on there that are like Nazi white supremacist pedophile hunters. You know, so they will like, you know, do the whole like the catch a predator thing where you lure these people out under, you know,
Oh yeah,
pretenses that, you know, you're a kid and stuff. But then like they'll use like the N word the whole time, and it's like a big fat white guy, and he's just using the N word like relentlessly in his whole video, and it's like, what the fuck is happening here? I don't like any of this. I mean, I like that you're catching pedophiles, but like, you're hurting my brain with your fucking racism. Like, what the hell is wrong with people, man?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
crazy.
It is actually
Yeah,
crazy. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head, and who fucking cares anyways, but, it's a specific guy I'm thinking of, and, he's just a fucking weirdo, dude. He's in, like, he's also regional, so he comes through, like, Idaho and Utah and stuff like that and stuff, and I'm glad he catches those people, I really am, but at the same time, like, why do you need to be also a racist piece of shit at the same time, man? Like, you can't not
yeah,
use the N word? Like,
he's kind of ruining his reputation, I guess, by doing that stuff. He's like, okay, you're doing good, but you're also really horrible. So,
yeah. The black cat. I don't see the black one very much. That's awesome.
oh yes, he likes to jump up on my lap, and he's very whiny too.
Ah, our
He's very needy.
cat will jump up on you, but if you don't pet her, she'll start to bite you. But if you do pet her
Oh,
after a second, she'll start to bite you.
oh.
She mostly from her interactions with me is she'll come up to me, look me dead in the eyes, wait till I'd make eye contact with her, and then she's like, meow. And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Meow." And I'm like, "What do you want? Like, you had food, your kitty litter's clean, you got water. Meow,
Well,
meow."
supposedly, making eye contact with a cat is threatening behavior. You're not supposed to look them directly in the eyes. You just like look to the side or whatever, and you can pet him or whatnot, but you're not supposed to. mm, That's
Yeah.
threatening.
I know it's the same way, like, I grew up with horses, and when you're first starting to train a horse, there's rules like that and too you're supposed to abide by, but, I've never followed those rules with any animal.
Yeah,
I love I like looking
yeah,
animals in the eyes because, like, I don't know, they've got cool eyes for one, and two, they say that, eyes are windows to the soul, and it's cool to, see windows into like a, more innocent soul than most humans, you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I don't think it's always true because I can look at mine in the eyes, and obviously they're not threatened, and they'll look me in the face. They don't they don't maintain eye contact for very long. It's like if we're looking at each other, you know, they'll usually like look away or whatever. They seem to be uncomfortable with prolonged eye contact.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, though.
Yeah,
I
right, right.
mean, I can maintain eye contact for quite a while, but, too much of it and, it gets a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. So
Especially
so
when
I
I was in the
probably
military and you would be using the bathroom. I don't know why anybody wants to make eye contact there, but they do.
well, I guess in a way the eye contact is better than, looking other places while you're in the bathroom. Maybe that's maybe
I
that's their they think if they maintain eye contact, nobody will accuse them of, taking a peek.
Yeah, that's true. The most awkward was, eye contact when, I was in jail briefly, eye contact in the showers. That was the most awkward. There's no reason for it in there. None. Don't look at me at all.
Yeah.
Don't look at anything,
Well,
you know?
I g well, that's the yeah, you just look at the wall or something,
Yeah,
but
just look at
yeah.
your fucking shower head and do your shower and get out, you know? The ceiling
But
is
that
great
that's it's
to look
it's
at.
probably the same thing. Looking at somebody's eyes is better than, looking, other places.
Yeah, dude, you get away with it more in the army. Guys talk about each other's, junk in the army, but in jail,
Oh.
that'd be a big no-no. And then,
Oh, have you seen that show Boots?
I started to watch it, but then I got distracted with a new season of something we were waiting for came out, and so we went and started watching that, and then I just haven't gone back and watched it.
Well, actually, I don't know if Christy Keller is still in here, but she's the one that told me about it, and it was pretty interesting. I usually don't like shows that are centered around war or the army and that kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
just not my thing. But this one, because it was about a gay guy that joins the Marines, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And actually,
Yeah.
I finished the whole thing and it was pretty good.
I've known a lot of Marines in my life. I've never known a straight Marine. I'm just kidding. That's 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 a joke I feel comfortable saying to only my friends. So I didn't mean that about any Marines I don't know at
Yeah,
all whatsoever. I
yeah,
really
you're
only
you're
meant
gonna
that
get
about my
some
buddies.
you're gonna get some hate comments here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's all right. It's nothing new, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're probably used to it, so
Yeah, at this point. It's gotten better though since I started posting more positive stuff in my feed, more about like animals, kids, and just funny jokes
yeah,
and shit like that. I
yeah.
haven't had like too many people talk shit. It was disappointing. Last week there was a video I posted with a little girl and she was messing with her mom with a money prank or whatever. You know, she was so like the mom would like put her hand in this box and you could see the one side of the box was cut out and you could see where like there was a fake bottom that had like a bunch of like high value bills from their country in it. And then the daughter would like pull it up. And so then below it was just nothing but low value bills. And
Oh
like
yeah.
the mom was absolutely an atrocious actor. So you could tell it was fake. You know, it was just absolute like she was no awards are going out to that lady anytime soon for her acting skills. And so like, but everybody was like, and I said, this girl is going places. And I had like 4 people comment on it. I ended up deleting the comments because they were like, yeah, to be a con artist or yeah, to prison or whatever. And it's like, dude, why you gotta
It's
fucking diss on a
it's
little
a,
girl
a
like that?
joke. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
joke.
Do you guys not understand that one, this is a child, two, the video is fake, and three, skills that are, considered manipulative actually translate to high earning professions like CEOs. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying this is the way society should work, but it fucking is. If you can get away with being manipulative and you're very good at it, uh you could be a leader of a business. Unfortunately, that's just how business works.
Yeah.
Suicide adjacent post. What do you mean? Yeah, I did a post about uh I did a
Yeah,
post
I've
about people not always wanting to live. And that the point of it was I listed like every region on Earth, every major region on Earth. I listed a bunch of stuff where people could go get help. Because it's not everybody knows where they can go get help, and they don't know where it's available, and so I wanted to help people find available mental health and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, I read that one today actually.
Yeah, it was a little bit wordy. I ended up going back through it later, and I'm like, God, dude, I probably could have cut about half this out. It was just a lot of ongoing repetitive kind of crap, but my goal was to, not be suicidal by any means, but to, if anybody is feeling low or feeling depressed, uh, that's, you know, you can find help. There's help. So
Yes.
you were saying you did positive posts. I liked this post. Not sure how positive made me think you would be good at self help. I don't know. I don't understand that sentence, Jim.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, yeah, I think you would be. You do a lot of you've done several posts that are kind of to help people um get get the help they need and stuff. Because I know a while back you did a couple. We talked about them, I think, in December when you were on with uh in one of my live videos. I think.
Yeah, it's so I spent years and years struggling with my own, problems and most of the time, like I've said before, I said in that article that we're talking about right now, most of the advice I would receive would be, buck it up,
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
has problems, you know, blah 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 blah, and it's like none of that fucking helps.
yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that a
everybody has
lot.
problems. We all fucking know that. Hopefully
Yeah,
everybody understands that everybody else has a problem in their life at some point. But that doesn't help you get through it.
yeah,
I mean, like, there are some people that draw motivation from seeing how awful other people's lives are. You see like people who are really struggling in, truly third world nations. And, there are people who, draw inspiration from that. They're like, okay, I guess I shouldn't be sad because those people have it way worse than I do. I'm not one of those people. I'm not. I'm just I don't I see that and I'm like, God, that just makes me more sad. Like
yeah,
I don't want to know that other people have it worse because I know how horrible my life was, especially like when I was younger. And I don't want to think about how much more awful it is in places that are completely unpoliced, with no actual, good adults around who are going to, be helping children if they can. I don't want to think about how horrible life can get for people in those regions. And
yeah,
so for me, a lot of my own the way I've worked through a lot of it is not necessarily acceptance, but life changes. A lot of the people that I knew at one point in time in my life were incredibly toxic, horrible people, and they had to fucking go. That was a big change. That did a lot of change. Finding someone like Kimberly who actually cares about me even on my down days. Even when I'm feeling like shit myself and don't really even care about myself that much. That was a huge game changer because
yeah,
I would look to my family for love and support at many points in my life when I was going through hard times, and they would be nowhere to be found. And so having someone there for you is a huge game changer. And that's when I was researching into it, countries like Finland and Switzerland and countries that are ranked oftentimes as having a very high happiness index, they are rated that way, and their main form of support is communal support. If
yeah,
you start noticing that your uncle is staying at home more, he's not, coming out to the bar anymore, he's not, going on fishing trips, you start going over there, you take them, a favorite meal cooked, and you bring the family and you talk to them, and if they need help, in like I believe Switzerland specifically, if somebody's feeling that depressed, the government comes and they take their guns away from them, if they have guns,
mm,
and then like they go through therapy until they're feeling better, and a therapist says, all right, they're doing good, and then they can have their guns back. That way, like if you're having a particularly down evening, you're not going to blow your brains out on a fucking whim, and that's something that's a problem is a lot of times like, you know, when I was at the worst personally, it would just be a whim that would lead me down the worst of my, thought process, invasive thoughts. I'd have the invasive thought of, oh, you should just kill yourself. And I think that that was true. That was the, good thought that I was having or whatever. Or not the good thought, but the thought that mattered the most at the time. And so then, you obsess over that until you're a danger to yourself. And
yeah,
so that's, yeah, a lot of it was also, quit thinking I need to party and drink and be this social butterfly. I never really actually was. I liked entertaining people. And the only way I knew how to back then was to get drunk and make them essentially laugh at me. Um, or when I was younger, wrestle other guys for, looks and stuff from people to be like, oh, he's strong. And so, but it always boiled down to some form of entertainment. Now I found a better way to channel that, and that's through writing, content creation, and Substack lives with uh, my buddy Brandon here.
yes, and I think we all appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming and joining again for 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully, next week's guest shows up, so you don't have to feel obligated. You can hang out in the comments and talk and stuff. You don't have to.
Oh, I'm fine with doing it though. If you anytime you ever need it. So if it does happen again, I'm available.
Well, that's really nice of you. I do truly appreciate that because I may have guests that will, cancel in the future and not show up. So it's nice to know that I've got someone there to have my back if that happens. That actually is a really good feeling. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So I think we're over our hour at this point. Um, is there anything you wanted to say to the people that might still be listening before we go?
Um, Subscribe to KR if you're not already, and um, well, of course, if you want to subscribe to me, that's fine too. And I just started a new publication this year for my fiction and poetry, so I would like people to check that out
What is it called?
if that they like that. Elrich Unraveling.
Hold on, we will really quickly. Uh, okay, I think I found it. So subscribed. All right, I'm now subscribed.
Well, I don't want to feel obligated to do it, but if you like that content, fiction and poetry, because some people aren't on here to read that kind of stuff, I completely understand that. But if it's something you want to check out, I'd appreciate it.
All right, here's a link, everybody. So go. I don't know if that'll work. I don't know if I. It doesn't look like one that can be clicked on.
No,
I
you
don't know.
can't. You can't do it in the chat. You have to copy and paste.
Oh,
So
okay.
if
Well,
people do want to, they can click on it and copy it. But yeah,
yeah. Copy and paste that, and go subscribe to it right now. Do it. I want to know that people actually are doing it. So, yeah. So if you aren't already subscribed to Brandon and his main page, go do that. And if you are, go subscribe also to Elrich Unraveling. Is it Elric or Elrich?
Elrich.
Elrich. Okay, because I've always
I'm sure
pronounced it
probably.
Elric.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, originally probably it was Elric. If it was probably in the in the European region and all that. So
Well, there you go. So yeah, go subscribe to that page. Remember, we will be back on, I believe, next week at noon. I think next week at noon it is actually Jim the historian who was just talking here. Let me double check.
oh
Yep.
okay,
Yeah. So it'll be Jim the historian.
I'm
So
not
that
familiar with him.
yeah, him and I have had some back and forth talks and stuff in chat. The messenger and stuff, and uh he's a pretty smart fella, and I like conversations with him on there, so I figured might as well have him on and get to know him a little bit better in person.
Yes, face to face.
Absolutely. So thank you everybody who's still here and everybody who isn't, and I hope you all have a great week, and bye.
Bye. Thanks.